Hello everyone, it is Method Ambassador Abigail Hoffman again. In case you don't know, I am a Method Ambassador and I graduated last fall in the class of 2020. And if you haven't heard yet, the Academy class of 2021 is testing this Monday and Tuesday. So class of 2021, this video is for you. So I figured I would go ahead and make a video, just a couple little tips for all you guys going into testing next week. I know when I was at the academy, we had Ashley Wagstaff. She was at the ranch. She used to groom and saddle Clinton's performance horses for him, and she hung out with my class a lot after class time was over and everything, and she really helped us prepare for testing and everything. So I wanted to try and help you guys out in ways that I could. For that, my first piece of advice for all you guys preparing for testing right now is to not panic. I know it's stressful. I've been in your situation before, but you cannot, don't panic. Don't worry about that. Clinton's there, don't think about all that scary stuff. Like, oh, don't get yourself all riled up and be like, oh my God, Clinton's right there. I have to do everything perfectly, otherwise I'm not gonna graduate. Don't psych yourself out into believing like that, believing that you won't graduate if you make one little mistake. Remember, Clinton is a horseman. He knows horses better than me and a lot of other people. He knows that horses make mistakes and that you're under pressure and that people make mistakes too, so there's going to be a little, don't stress yourself out too much about that stuff, okay? So just go out there, be confident. Even if you're not confident or anything, you fake it, all right? The last thing Clinton wants to see is somebody walk out with their head down, dragging their stick and string, just waiting for a verbal beating. That's the last thing he wants to see. Because you got to think about, you're applying basically to go out and teach the public. Clinton doesn't want his name on somebody who's not confident in their own ability to go out and teach, all right? So be confident. If you struggle with, if you're struggling with your confidence right now, that's completely understandable in your situation, but fake it as best you can. Just fake it. Go out there and think like, oh yeah, I got this. Just tell yourself mentally like, oh yeah, I got this. My horse is awesome. I know the method. I got this. No problem. All right. My second piece of advice would be, and this is just my opinion. This isn't a rule or anything like that. But another piece of advice I have for you guys is to dress professionally. And what I mean by professionally, I mean put on a button down, wear jeans that are long enough. That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know if Quentin cares or not, but wear jeans that are long enough, and wear your hat, okay? The other thing with your hat, this is also a pet peeve of mine that I'm just telling you guys, is make sure your hat is shaped correctly. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I tend to judge people based off their hat shape. This kind of like a first impression. So what I would recommend, if you have a hat and you don't think it's shaped right, go to a tack store that shapes hats. I'm sure there's one in this area, and ask them for, I would recommend the quarter horse crease, which is this right here. As you can see, it's very sharp, square, professional. It's my preferred shape. Or you could ask for, if you think that shape's a little too taco-y, or like some people call them taco hats. If you feel like that's a little too much crease for you, too sharp and too tall, ask for the cutter crease. That's very, very similar to the quarter horse crease, but it's got a little bit wider brim in the face, so it's not like taco, it's more out here. This is my hat, my new hat, but this is a shape that it's acceptable, but it's not my favorite. I don't like this swooped feeling, at least not on my face shape. But it looks nice from the side. It's still professional. I wear this to clinics and everything. I just haven't gotten around to reshaping it yet. But that's what I mean by like getting your hat shaped professionally. Those are just two examples, but hopefully that helps you out a little bit. So I say dress professionally because for me at least, it helped my confidence going in there. I look professional. I had makeup on, my hat on. I felt like I was going into a show and everything. It just kind of helps my confidence if I look the part. It helps me feel the part more. So if that's something that you feel like you would benefit from, go ahead. I mean, that's what I did. That's what most of my class did. At least the majority of my class all went into testing wearing a button down in their hat. On the first day, most of us did, and then those that didn't on the first day definitely came wearing a button down and their hat the second day, just because it just looks nice. Clinton might not care. I don't know. Clinton probably doesn't give a crap. But it also is kind of Clinton's first impression of you, and like you're presenting yourself as a potential ambassador, so you kind of want to look the part. You know what I mean? So that's just a little piece of advice. My third little tip for you guys is a little one. It's pretty easy, but it makes a big difference. It is put a new string on your stick. It sounds so stupid, but my whole class, we all put new strings on our sticks before testing, and we were all practicing. We're, oh my God, I'm so glad I put a new string on my stick. It's so nice. It's lighter weight. It makes a better noise. It makes a bigger, scarier noise with less effort on your part. So that's a really simple thing to do that made a difference for a lot of my class, at least. So go ahead, just put a new string on your stick. It's no big deal. You'll still be able to use that same string for your pictures and everything after you graduate. Just put it on your stick a day or two early. It's no big deal. And while we're on the topic of strings, there was a couple of us in my class that were planning on bringing 3 sticks to testing, one without a string, one with a string, and one with our bags on it to testing, so that we could practice the certain exercises with our string and without our string, without pausing, taking our string off, putting it back on, all that stuff. But be prepared to just do every single exercise with the string on your stick, okay? Clinton's not gonna have time for you to run and get your second stick or any of that. So just be prepared, practice all your exercises with your string on your stick still, because Clinton's most likely not gonna give you the time to go grab a second stick that doesn't have the string on it, okay? And number 4 for my tips is eat breakfast both days, before test. Eat a good breakfast before testing, okay? Don't do what I did and just go get a coffee and think that works, because all that's gonna do, at least if you're like me at all that's gonna do is that coffee is gonna sit in your stomach like a bomb, and it's gonna fuel you up, and you're gonna be all amped up even more. You're already gonna be nervous, and all that coffee's gonna do is nerve you up some more. So if you gotta have coffee, at least eat something with it. Actually, eat breakfast. Even if you're not a breakfast person, eat breakfast. It's good for you, okay? And moving on to my other tip is, this tip's for people like me, okay? If you've listened to Clinton's vlogs, where he talks about the color code, the book that he likes about the different personality types, if you haven't taken the test, go take the test, read the book, it's really good. But if you know what I'm talking about, I am very red, very, very red. When I take my test, I'm talking like 3/4 red. I'm very power driven. I'm very competitive. But then my secondary is blue, so I'm also I'm a perfectionist. I have high expectations for myself. So this tip's kind of catered towards people like me that are like the real go-getters, and you want to be the best at everything you do. So for people that are kind of like me, I wouldn't say don't watch your classmates at all. Obviously support your friends in this, but I guess just be cautious, or at least have the right mindset if you're watching your classmates test. I know for me, obviously, I watched all of my close friends test, and I was supporting, I was cheering them on, everything like that. But just be cautious when you're watching your classmates, because I had to really keep myself in check and not compare myself to my classmates, because this was a whole thing I struggled with throughout my entire academy. Was I like to turn things that are not a competition into a competition. The academy is not a competition. The only competition you have is yourself. I mean, there's nobody stopping you from graduating. It doesn't matter if one of your classmates graduates with an A+ on groundwork and an A+ on writing, and you get an A and a B+ or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. So, this kind of tip, be cautious when you're watching your classmates test. Don't compare yourself. Don't make it a competition. Not everybody's going to have that problem, but I just thought I'd throw it in there for the people that are like me and that do like to make things that are not a competition into a competition and be really hard on themselves. It's not worth it. If you're that type of person and you're really bad and can't keep yourself in check, just honestly just wait outside. Wait until you're up next and just don't watch anybody. There's no shame in that, whatever. And my final tip for everybody is to just go at it. I mean, go at it. Have fun. Not have fun, but I say go at it. But I mean, go at it. I mean, show off is what I mean. The first thing you're going to do is, for the groundwork days, you're going to desensitize to your lead rope and your stick and string. There's not much fancy you can do when you're desensitizing to your lead rope. It's pretty much, this flick. But when you get to spank the ground with your stick and string, I mean, freaking go at it. I mean, you're talking extra high. Hit the ground as hard and fast as you possibly can. Show off a little bit, okay? I know Kristen has probably already told you guys this. Do things in the teaching stage first. When Clinton asks for that, do things in the teaching stage and then go to the refined. But in things like desensitizing and all that, where there's really no teaching stage, just go at it, just show off a little bit. This is your time to prove to him that you know the method and that you can take your horse to a very high level of the fundamentals, okay? So that's all my tips I have got for you today. Keep an eye on my Facebook page, Abigail Hoffman-Clinton Anderson Method Ambassador, because tomorrow I'm going to put out another little video of me telling a story time about what happened to me when I was testing. Nothing bad, obviously. I graduated, but I have a little funny story to tell. So keep an eye on my Facebook page for that. And then, another little quick thing too is for you guys is please tell Kristen thank you for what she's done. Teaching is very mentally tasking. It's very exhausting mentally, especially. And especially for 6-7 weeks, like Kristen has been doing. I mean, what she's doing is superhuman. You guys will understand once you get out into the real world and you start teaching your own clinics. It's teaching clinics and teaching people all the time sounds amazing, and it is. It's amazing. It's a very rewarding job, but it's also very taxing. It's very exhausting, and you'll understand once you get out of the academy and you start doing your own clinics and stuff. But please tell Kristen thank you. Before we went into testing, I gave her a handwritten thank you note that just said, thank you for all the time and effort you put into the academy and teaching people like me. It's very appreciated. And I just thanked her for all her help and everything like that. So please be sure to do that. She'll really appreciate it. Okay, so get Kristen a card, get her flower, whatever. Just tell her thank you. Okay. So that's all my tips. If any of you guys have any questions, I'm at the barn pretty much every day now that I'm doing the saddling job and everything. So don't be afraid to message me on Facebook or anything like that and ask me if you have any other questions. So, all right, good luck.